I've got something a little bit different for you today. So for one of my future videos I want to be looking at more Yorkshire folklore, and so I was digging around in my mum's vast and extensive collection of old Yorkshire books when I found this. Now it was first published in 1912, I don't know when this one was because it doesn't have a date, but it's a collection of stories written in the Yorkshire dialect, and I was thinking cracking and I started to read it. However, I soon realised that it was written in such a broad and thick dialect that it was almost incomprehensible for me to make sense of. I mean, I'm Yorkshire born and bred, I've been here 21 years and it was giving me an aneurysm trying to read it, so I thought it'd be a bit of a laugh if I attempted to read this for your enjoyment. But I wanted to do it for a second reason as well, because this was written in 1912, so it's a snapshot of a way of talking which has in a lot of places died out, and I'm trying to bring it to life. Now, don't worry if you don't understand what's going on, because the only reason I can make sense of it is because I've read it about 10 times, and I don't have the broadest Yorkshire accent. You can blame my mum for that because she's from Essex. But anyway, here's goodies. It fair caps me what for folks want to eat goodies in church. You'd really think that some folks couldn't say the praise without a goodie in the mouths. It caps out, it does, I say. At Parson o' Sunday I'd nobbut just getting into the pew and a fat old woman in the seat in front of me thought she were forced to have a goodie, and she pezzles her in a way round to the great old pocket at back and began scratting about and rattling keys and paper and sight like to see if she could find a bit of goodie, and there she were lighting and scratting about like an hen on a mook midden while we get to psalms. You keeping up? And she get that vexed because she couldn't find yan on his sort she could scarce bed. She blamed at bairns, for getting to her pocket throughout week. She knowed she'd left 2 or 3 at last Sunday, d'ye see, or else she'd have getting some mail when she were at picker and set the neat. But no, she couldn't find yan, neither a mint, nor a rose, nor a acid, and niece, nor out. However, she were desperate jealous she ought to have a goodie of her pocket somewheres, d'ye see. See, it first lesson she'd ever another lark. And she began to take things out of her pocket this time, do you see, and put 'em down in the seat again her. By lad, I wouldn't like to be a woman and nob at a year pocket, and that away round at back where you had to crit your neck and put your shoulder out to get it. I wouldn't whether. I tell you what, lads, if you'd seen what a great vast of things that there woman had in your pocket, and it tooing and scratting and twisting, she had to get a bit of goodie out it weren't there, you'd sympathise with 'em, I tell you, when they want to get into what they call rational costume. Look you, I couldn't fairly tell you what they want in that woman's pocket. I do shoot me ears and open them again, and I thought I were at Jumal saying instead of at church, I did however. I have thought and pickets mysen, and look here, I ain't as many things and all of them together as what that there woman had in her hand. I say aunt. There was that door key, there an handkerchief, there a boot and hook, there a kettle order, there was a 4 or 5 bits of band, there a thimble, there a pincushion, there a pussy, there a yed measure, there was half a dozen hairpins lapped up in a bit of paper. I know they're hairpins, 'cause she opened them out, she thought Goody had maybe got in among 'em, do you see? And there was something else, I've forgotten what. Oh aye, there were a bit of pencil with point broken, and there was a cleese pin and a bit of wax and desperate thrang deed of buttons and bits of paper had maybe had goodies in them at some time and a deal more things. And they were all in your pocket, that's what capped me. Oh, and if she get him in, I don't know. And I were much to know she were getting to get him in again after church louse, but however she did. And she went right away down into the bottom of that there pocket, and she rode about and lighted into the corners, and she couldn't find a bit of goodie there what she would, I want yarn. By lad, she did look vexed, and she began to sort things over and thrust them back into her pocket again, and she put Dorky in at bottom, because it'd be first thing she'd want out. They're a strange contrary thing as a woman. And there she put her handkerchief in and then rest of things. However she got 'em all rambled in a deal sharper in I couldn't have reckoned on. And then she leaned back in the seat to have a rest, and I think she wanted yan, she were very near to death. And I thought she'd dean with her old pocket for your service, however. But just as Parson began his sermon and had given up text, the woman wanted her handkerchief and she had to get into her pocket again. And she got her handkerchief at corner and rive it out, and Thimble came out with it, do you see? And Thimble rattled down onto the seat, do you see? And by lad, there were a goodie tumbled out at Thimble. I never said nobody so pleased in me wick. She were fair capped, was woman. And she popped it good into the mouth, and by goom, it were a mint, and a desperate strong and all, it fair reeked all her at church. And she kept napping and napping away like a steam checker, and then she stuck a bit on it way to the corner of her cheek to make it last and listen to the sermon maybe a minute or maybe 2. And then she started scrunching away again like an old rat in at back of sketting board while she getting it dean. And she took them all out again to see if there any more goodies got in him, but there weren't. And afore she knowed where I were, I saw him in the road with, and all I'd heard on text, taking it out for the morrow, and see we comed out, and see we comed away. And I know the old woman were thinking all the time she had to have some more goodies got in her fort next Sunday. Oh, them goodies. I don't know what makes folks so crazy in them, I didn't I say. Noah can show my bit of back in church and never make a sound with it, and never nobody know nowt at all about it. Well, that gave me a bit of a stroke reading it.